and a falta. Rain taps gently against the large windows of a bustling Starbucks in downtown Chicago. The early morning crowd moves with purpose. Business people clutching briefcases, students with backpacks, tourists consulting maps. Among them, a man in his early 70s sits alone at a corner table, distinguished with silver hair and kind eyes that have seen decades of life's highs and lows. This is Peter Cetera, former lead singer of Chicago and successful solo artist. He wears a casual blazer over a button-down shirt, inconspicuous yet carrying an unmistakable presence. Peter sips his coffee slowly, watching the world pass by through rain-streaked windows. His fingers tap rhythmically on the wooden table, a musician's habit that never fades. The door swings open. Marcus Winters, 38, enters, soaking wet, clutching a worn leather portfolio. His clothes are decent but clearly dated, shoes worn at the edges. His face shows the strain of someone carrying too many worries. Marcus approaches the counter, fumbling through his wallet. His movements are tense, anxious. Barista, what can I get started for you today? Marcus, checking his wallet nervously. Just a small coffee, please. Regular? Marcus counts out dollar bills and loose change, carefully arranging them on the counter. His hands tremble slightly. Barista, that'll be $3. 75. Marcus counts again, his expression falling. Marcus, embarrassed. I'm sorry, I thought it was less. I only have 3.25. The barista's smile falters. A line is forming behind Marcus. Barista, kindly but firmly. I'm sorry, sir, but I can't. Peter, approaching the counter. Add a large mocha and a blueberry muffin to his order, please. Marcus turns, startled. Peter stands beside him, wallet already open. Marcus, no, please. That's not necessary. Peter, with a gentle smile. It's just coffee. Everyone deserves coffee on a morning like this. Peter hands his card to the barista, who swipes it with a nod. Marcus, thank you, but… Peter, gesturing to his table. Join me, unless you're in a hurry. Marcus hesitates, then nods. There's something about Peter's kindness that disarms him. Int. Starbucks. Corner table. Moments later, Peter and Marcus sit across from each other. Marcus warms his hands around the coffee cup. Peter, I'm Peter. Marcus. Marcus Winters. Thank you again for the coffee. Peter, smiling. Like I said, it's just a moment of silence passes between them. Outside, the rain falls harder. Marcus, glancing at his watch. I should be going soon. I have a job interview at 9:30. Peter, genuinely interested. What kind of work do you do, Marcus? Marcus, hesitant. I'm a music teacher. Or I was. Budget cuts at my school last year. Been piecing together substitute work since then. Peter's eyes light up at the mention of music. Peter, what do you teach? Marcus, with visible passion, some guitar and piano voice. Primarily. I was at Lincoln Park High for 12 years. Peter, nodding. Music education changes lives. Changed mine. Marcus studies Peter more carefully now, feeling a sense of familiarity. Marcus, realizing, you're Peter Cetera? Peter smiles modestly, nodding. Marcus, amazed. I used to play your songs for my students. Glory of Love was always a favorite to teach chord progressions. Peter, chuckling. Always nice to hear. Marcus quickly retrieves it from his pocket, checking the caller ID. Marcus, apologetic. Excuse me, I need to take this. It's my landlord. Peter nods understandingly as Marcus steps away to answer. From Peter's perspective, we see Marcus's expression change from hopeful to crestfallen. His shoulders slump as he speaks in hushed, pleading tones. When Marcus returns to the table, his face is pale, his hands trembling more noticeably. Peter, everything okay? Marcus, forcing a smile. Fine, it's just… Marcus glances at his portfolio, then out the window at the rain. Marcus, I should get going. Don't want to be late. He stands, extending his hand. Marcus, it was an honor to meet you, Mr. Cetera. Thank you again for the coffee. Peter shakes his hand, feeling the tremble in Marcus's grip. Peter, good luck with the interview. Marcus nods gratefully and heads for the door. As he opens it, the wind catches it, nearly pulling it from his grasp. The rain is coming down as Marcus hunches his shoulders against the downpour, No umbrella, his portfolio clutched protectively under his jacket. Something about the image stirs something deep in Peter's memory. EXT, Starbucks, continuous. Peter exits the cafe, opening a large black umbrella. He spots Marcus waiting at a bus stop, getting soaked. Peter calling out, "Marcus!" Marcus turns surprised. "Peter, where's your interview?" Marcus, Northwestern University, Music Department. "Peter, I'm headed that direction. Let me give you a ride." Marcus hesitates, pride battling necessity. "Marcus, I couldn't impose." Peter, with good humor, "In this rain? Consider it a favor to your portfolio. Those pages won't survive the bus ride." Marcus looks down at his partially soaked portfolio, then back at Peter's kind expression. Marcus, with genuine gratitude, "Thank you." Int. Peter's car. Moments later, a sleek, understated luxury sedan. The windshield wipers classical music plays softly against the pouring rain. Marcus sits stiffly in the passenger seat, his damp portfolio on his lap. His clothes are soaked, his hair plastered to his forehead. "Peter, there's a towel in the back seat if you'd like to dry off a bit." Marcus reaches back, finding a soft gym towel. He dabs at his face and hair. Marcus, embarrassed, "I'm getting your seat wet." "I'm sorry." Peter, dismissively, "It's just water." Traffic is heavy, the car moving slowly through the rain-soaked streets. Peter, "You mentioned Lincoln Park High. I grew up not far from there." Marcus, perking up, "The music program there was legendary. Was, anyway." Peter, "What happened?" Marcus, sighing, "What always happens. Budget cuts. Arts are the first to go. 12 years building that program, and they dismantled it in a single board meeting." Peter nods, a flash of recognition in his eyes. Peter, "I had a music teacher once, looked at me one day and said, 'Cetra, you've got a voice. Use it.' Changed everything for me." Marcus, smiling genuinely, "That's why we do it. For those moments." Peter glances at the portfolio on Marcus's lap. "Peter, what's in there? For your interview?" Marcus, opening it slightly. "Student achievements, recital programs, some compositions." Peter glimpses sheet music, handwritten notes, and what appears to be a letter with an eviction notice header partially visible. Peter, carefully, "Your landlord. The call earlier. Everything really okay?" Marcus closes the portfolio, looking out at the rain. Marcus, after a long pause, 3 months behind on rent. "I've been living on savings, but..." He trails off, embarrassed. Marcus, "The interview today is for an adjunct position. Part-time, but it would be something stable?" Peter nods, not pushing further. The car falls silent except for the soft classical music and the rhythmic sweep of the wipers. After a moment, Peter speaks carefully. "Peter, I remember what it's like. The uncertainty, the constant worry." Marcus looks over, surprised. "Marcus, you, but you're..." Peter, etc. Peter, with a gentle laugh, "I wasn't always. There were lean years, very lean years." Peter's eyes focus on the road ahead, but his mind is clearly elsewhere, in another time. "Peter, my first apartment in Chicago. I could barely afford the rent. Played clubs at night, worked odd jobs during the day. Some weeks it was a choice between food or electricity." Marcus listens intently, seeing Peter in a new light. "Peter, 1 month? I was sure I'd be evicted. Couldn't make rent, couldn't even come close. Then this club owner paid me double for a gig. Said my voice had brought in twice the usual crowd." Peter turns to Marcus briefly. "Peter, sometimes all you need is one person who sees your value. One opportunity to prove yourself." Marcus nods, understanding the parallel Peter is drawing. Marcus, quietly, "I keep telling myself it'll turn around. That something will break my way. Peter, and it will. Talent like yours doesn't go unnoticed forever." Marcus doesn't look convinced, but Peter's confidence provides a momentary comfort. "Marcus, the hardest part is feeling like I've failed my students. They counted on me, on the program. Now they have nothing." Peter, thoughtfully, "Maybe not forever." Marcus glances at Peter, curious, but Peter simply turns up the classical music slightly and continues driving through the rain. The windshield wipers create a steady, almost hypnotic rhythm as they cut through the raindrops. Marcus, after a thoughtful pause, "You know what I miss most? The look on a student's face when something clicks, when they suddenly understand a concept they've been struggling with. That moment of pure illumination." Peter, nodding. "That moment of connection. When music becomes more than notes on a page." Marcus, "Exactly. It's magical." Peter navigates through a particularly congested intersection, focusing on the road. The Northwestern campus begins to appear in the distance. Marcus, changing the subject. "This interview, I don't know if it's even worth going to. Adjunct positions are basically academic servitude these days. No benefits, no security." Peter, "But it keeps you in the game, keeps you connected to what Marcus matters." Considers this, nodding slowly. "Marcus, you're right. And maybe it leads to something more, or at least keeps a roof over my head until something better comes along." The car approaches the Northwestern campus entrance. The imposing Gothic buildings rise through the drizzle, their stone facades dark with rain. Peter, encouraging. "Every opportunity is what you make of it." Marcus nods, gathering his resolve along with his portfolio. EXT, Northwestern University, Music Building. Later. The rain has slowed to a drizzle. Peter's car pulls up to the impressive stone building. Students hurry across the quad, some with instrument cases, others buried in books and conversation. Marcus, gathering his things. "Thank you, really, for everything." Peter, reaching into his jacket. "Here's my card. Let me know how it goes." Marcus takes the card, looking at it with a mixture of disbelief and gratitude. He runs his thumb over the embossed lettering, feeling the weight of the expensive cardstock. "Marcus, I will." There's a moment of hesitation, as if Marcus wants to say more but can't find the words. Peter, encouragingly, "You've got this, Marcus. Remember, they need good teachers as much as you need the position." Marcus nods, gathering strength from Peter's confidence in him. Marcus, with newfound determination. "Right, yes, thank you." As Marcus exits the car, Peter notices him straighten his posture, adjust his tie, and transform his expression to one of confidence, a professional mask sliding into place over the worry. Peter watches him walk toward the building, portfolio held high now, protected from the light rain. The transformation is remarkable. From the desperate man counting change at Starbucks to this confident professional striding purposefully toward his future. Peter waits until Marcus disappears through the large wooden doors before driving away. His expression is thoughtful, his mind clearly working on something important. Peter's home. Living room, evening. A spacious, tastefully decorated home with large windows overlooking Lake Michigan. Awards and platinum records adorn the walls, but not ostentatiously. A grand piano sits in a corner, sheet music open on the stand. Outside, the rain has stopped, leaving the lake view crystal clear. The water reflects the last light of day, glittering like scattered diamonds. Peter sits at his desk, looking through old photographs. Images of his younger self with the band Chicago, with family, with fans, concert venues from around the world, backstage moments, recording studios. He pauses on a photo of himself as a young boy, standing next to an older man with a guitar, his first music teacher. The man's face is kind but stern, his hand resting on young Peter's shoulder with obvious pride. The guitar between them looks well worn, clearly loved. Peter touches the photograph gently, as if connecting to a memory that's both precious and painful. His expression is contemplative, thoughtful. He reaches for his phone, scrolls through contacts, then stops, reconsidering. He places the phone down and returns to the photographs, turning to a more recent image, a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Cetera Foundation's first funded program. Peter stands among beaming children holding instruments, the flash of cameras capturing a moment of genuine joy. The doorbell rings, pulling Peter from his reverie. Peter's home. Foyer. Continuous. Peter moves through his home to the front door. The foyer is elegant but understated. Hardwood floors, tasteful artwork, family photographs mixed with platinum records and awards. Peter opens the door to find Diane Miller, 65, his longtime manager and friend, a no-nonsense woman with sharp eyes and an even sharper mind. Her silver hair is cut in a sleek bob, her clothes expensive but practical. She carries a leather portfolio not unlike Marcus's. Diane, entering briskly. "You're not answering your phone again." Peter, closing the door. "Hello to you too, Diane." Diane removes her coat, hanging it with practiced familiarity on the coat rack by the door. Their relationship is clearly long-standing and comfortable. Diane, heading for the living room. "The foundation gala is in 3 weeks. We need to finalize everything." Peter follows her, both exasperated and fond. This is clearly a dynamic they've settled into over years of friendship and professional collaboration. In Peter's home. Living room. Continuous. Diane makes herself at home, moving to the coffee table with purpose. She notices the photographs spread across Peter's desk, but doesn't comment on them, though her expression suggests she's noting everything. Diane places her portfolio on the coffee table, opening it to reveal schedules, budgets, and promotional materials for the Cetera Foundation for Music Education. Everything is meticulously organized, color-coded, and annotated. Diane, the guest list is overflowing. Everyone wants to support the cause. She pulls out a printed list of names: Chicago's elite, music industry heavyweights, philanthropists, and educators. Peter sits across from her, less focused than usual. He glances at the list but doesn't really see it. "Peter, that's good." Diane looks up, immediately sensing his distraction. She sets down her pen, giving him her full attention. Diane, noticing his distraction. "What's on your mind? You seem elsewhere today." Peter hesitates, then decides to share. "Peter, I met someone this morning. Teacher. Lost his job to budget cuts." Diane's expression softens with immediate understanding. Diane, understanding immediately. "Ah," hits close to home. Peter stands, moving to the window. The lake stretches before him, vast and unchanging despite the constant motion of its waves. He watches a distant sailboat for a moment before turning back to Diane. "Peter, he's interviewing for part-time work." About to Diane watches him carefully, reading between the lines of what he's saying. Diane, closing her portfolio. "Peter, we can't save every struggling music teacher in Chicago." Her tone is gentle but firm, the voice of practicality tempering Peter's natural generosity. Peter, thoughtfully, "No, but maybe this one." He returns to his desk, picking up the photograph of himself with his first music teacher. Diane, cautious. "What are you thinking?" Peter considers the photograph for a moment longer, then sets it down, turning to face Diane with newfound purpose. "Peter, I'm not sure yet, but the foundation was created for exactly this kind of situation, wasn't it?" He moves to sit across from Diane again, leaning forward, engaged now. Diane, pragmatic. The foundation supports music education programs in schools, systematically, with oversight. She taps the budget reports in her portfolio, emphasizing the careful planning that goes into their philanthropic efforts. Peter, with quiet determination. "Sometimes the system needs a human touch, Diane." Diane studies him, recognizing the look in his eyes. She's seen it before, the determination that precedes Peter following his heart, sometimes against more practical considerations. Diane, sighing, "Just be careful. Your heart's always been bigger than your business sense." There's no real criticism in her words, just the caution of someone who's been looking out for Peter's interests for decades. Peter, with a slight smile, "Is that why I keep you around?" The tension breaks as they share a moment of understanding. Their dynamic is clear, Peter's passion balanced by Diane's pragmatism, a partnership that has served them both well. Diane, gathering her things, among other reasons. Now, about the gala. She reopens her portfolio, ready to return to business, but her expression shows she knows this conversation about the music teacher isn't over. She's simply giving Peter space to formulate his thoughts more fully. En lenti. Peter's home, study late night. Peter's study is a comfortable space filled with books, music memorabilia, and state-of-the-art sound equipment. Awards and gold records line one wall, but they're displayed modestly, as memories rather than trophies. The room is dimly lit now, a single desk lamp illuminating Peter as he sits at his computer, searching online. On the screen, Marcus Winters, music teacher, Chicago. He scrolls through results, clicking on newspaper articles, school newsletters, and recital programs. We see images of Marcus with student orchestras, testimonials from parents, a small article about a citywide music competition his students won 3 years ago. Peter reads each one carefully, building a picture of the man he met by chance that morning. A news article shows Marcus protesting budget cuts at a school board meeting, speaking passionately about the importance of arts education. Another shows him organizing a community concert to raise funds for instruments when the school couldn't provide them. Peter leans back in his chair, thoughtful. He picks up his phone and dials, checking the time. It's late, past midnight. Peter, into phone. Mike? It's Peter Cetera. I know it's late. I need a favor. He listens for a moment, then continues. Peter, into phone. There's a music teacher named Marcus Winters. Lost his position at Lincoln Park High last year due to budget cuts. I want to know everything about him. His program, his students, his reputation. Another pause as he listens to the response. Peter, into phone. Yes, it's about a potential foundation grant. But I need this information quietly. Peter listens again. No contact with him directly yet. Peter, into phone. As soon as possible. And Mike, this is important. He ends the call and turns back to the computer, continuing his research. His expression is focused, determined. On the desk beside him sits the photograph of his first music teacher, watching over his efforts like a silent guardian of memory and purpose. We see images of Marcus with student orchestras, testimonials from parents, a small article about a citywide music competition his students won 3 years ago. Peter leans back in his chair, thoughtful. He picks up his phone and dials. Peter, into phone. Mike? It's Peter Cetera. I know it's late. I need a favor. XT. Modest apartment building. Next morning, a weathered brick building in a working-class Chicago neighborhood. Peter parks his car across the street, observing. The neighborhood is decent, but clearly struggling. Some boarded storefronts, others showing signs of renewal. Marcus exits the building, dressed similarly to yesterday, but with a different tie. His expression is heavy, shoulders slouched. He checks his watch and hurries toward the bus stop. Peter watches him go, then exits his car and approaches the building. Int. Apartment building. Lobby. Continuous. A simple, aged lobby with mailboxes and a directory. Peter locates the building manager's office and knocks. Harold Jenkins, 72, a gruff-looking man with decades of no-nonsense apartment management behind him, opens the door. Harold, suspicious. Can I help you? Peter, I'd like to speak with you about one of your tenants, Marcus Winters. Harold, even more suspicious. And you are? Peter, a friend? I understand he's behind on his rent. Harold, defensive. That's between me and him. Peter, and calmly. The eviction court next week. I'd like to pay his outstanding balance. Harold's expression shifts from suspicion to surprise. Harold, all 3 months? That's over $3,000. Peter, reaching for his wallet, plus the next 3 months in advance. Harold studies Peter more carefully now. Harold, recognizing him. Wait a minute, aren't you? Peter, smiling slightly. Just a friend helping out a friend. Harold, skeptical. Does Mr. Winters know about this? Peter, not yet. Harold contemplates this, prefer to keep clearly torn between suspicion and the prospect of receiving over $6,000 in overdue and advance rent. Harold, making a decision. Come in. We'll need to draw up a receipt. Int. Northwestern University. Music department. Hallway, afternoon. Marcus exits an office, his expression unreadable. He walks down the hallway, passing students with instrument cases and professors deep in conversation. Once alone in a stairwell, his professional facade crumbles. He leans against the wall, closing his eyes, exhaling deeply. His phone rings. He checks it, sees landlord on the screen, and reluctantly answers. Marcus, into phone, resigned. Mr. Jenkins, I know I promised. Marcus's expression changes from resignation to confusion. then disbelief. Marcus into phone. What do you mean it's been paid? All of it? By who? Marcus listens, growing more bewildered. Marcus into phone. An anonymous donor? Remembering something. That doesn't make any sense. His hand goes to his pocket, where Peter's card sits. Marcus into phone. Thank you. Yes, I'll be in touch. Marcus ends the call, staring at his phone in disbelief. He pulls out Peter's card, looking at it with new understanding. Int. Peter's car. Same time. Peter drives along Lakeshore Drive, the skyline of Chicago visible through his windshield. His phone rings through the car's speaker system, pressing a button on his steering wheel. Hello? Diane, VO, through speakers. I just got a call from Mike at the foundation. He said you authorized an emergency grant? Peter, that's right. Diane, VO, exasperated. Peter, there are protocols, board approvals. This isn't your personal checkbook. Peter, calmly, I made a personal donation to the foundation this morning that more than covers it. The paperwork is all in order, Diane, softening slightly. Diane, this is about that music teacher, isn't it? Peter, after a pause, you remember why I started the foundation? Diane, VO, sighing. Of course I do. Peter, then you understand. A moment of silence passes. Diane, VO. Just be careful, Peter. Not everyone appreciates unexpected charity. Peter, it's not charity. It's an investment. He ends the call, continuing his drive along the lake. EXT, Starbucks. The next morning, Peter sits at the same corner table, rush flows watching the door. Busy people focused on their own lives, their own concerns. The door opens. Marcus enters, scanning the cafe until he spots Peter. Their eyes meet. Peter gestures to the empty chair across from him. Marcus approaches slowly, deliberately. Marcus, sitting down. It was you, wasn't it? Peter, neither confirming nor denying. Good morning, Marcus. How did the interview go? Marcus, persistent. My landlord said an anonymous donor paid not only my back rent, but 3 months in advance, over $6,000. Peter, taking a sip of coffee. That's fortunate. Marcus, leaning forward. Why would you do that? You don't even know me. Peter, setting down his cup. Did you get the job? Marcus pauses, thrown by the change of subject. Marcus, deflating slightly. Part-time only. 12 hours a week. Not enough to live on, but it's something. Peter, Marcus, nodding, frustrated. Mr. Cetera, please, I can't accept that kind of charity. Peter, meeting his gaze. It's not charity, Marcus. Consider it a grant from the Cetera Foundation for Music Education. Marcus, surprised. You have a foundation? Peter, nodding. Supporting music teachers and programs for over 15 years now, especially those affected by budget cuts. Marcus processes this information, his resistance wavering. Peter, when I was a boy, my family couldn't afford much, but there was this music teacher, Mr. Hendricks, who saw something in me. He gave me my first real instrument, spent extra time after school teaching me. Peter's eyes grow distant with memory. Peter, continuing. Years later, after Chicago hit it big, I tried to find him, to thank him, but he was gone, pushed out of his job by budget cuts, died alone in a small apartment, his instrument sold to pay medical bills. Marcus's expression softens with understanding. Peter, the foundation was created to make sure that doesn't happen to other Mr. Hendricks out there. A moment of silence passes between them. Marcus, quietly. I still have my students, former students. They still reach out, ask for lessons I can't afford to give for free anymore. Peter, leaning forward. Tell me about them. Marcus's face brightens, passion replacing pride. Marcus, there's this one girl, Sophia, 16, most natural talent I've ever seen. When the school program was single cut, mom working she had to give up her cello. It was a school instrument. Peter listens intently, seeing the teacher come alive as he speaks about his students. Marcus, continuing, and Miguel. Tough neighborhood, tough life. But when he plays guitar, it's like all that melts away. His family can't afford lessons now. Peter, thoughtfully. How many students like that do you have, who lost their music when the program was cut? Marcus, considering. At least 20 who were really dedicated, who really needed it. Peter reaches into his jacket, pulling out a business card, different from the one he gave Marcus before. This one has the Foundation's logo. Peter, the Foundation has a program for situations exactly like this. Marcos takes the card, reading it carefully. Peter, we provide grants to qualified music educators to establish community programs in neighborhoods that need them. For students who need skeptical them. Again? And you think I'm qualified, based on one conversation? Peter, smiling. I did my homework, Marcus. Your students have won citywide competitions 3 years running. Parents have written letters to the editor protesting the cutting of your program. Your former principal called you, and I quote, "the heart and soul of Lincoln Park High's arts education." Marcus is speechless, touched that Peter would research him so thoroughly. Peter, the grant includes salary, space rental, and instrument procurement. All we ask is quarterly reports and evidence that you're reaching the students who need it most. Marcus, overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Peter, say you'll consider it. The Foundation Board meets next week. I'd like to present your case. Marcos stares at the card in his hand, possibilities blooming in his mind. Marcus, emotional. Why me? There must be hundreds of music teachers in the same situation. Sometimes helping everyone starts with helping someone. Marcus looks up, meeting Peter's gaze with new understanding. Marcus, the rent payment. That wasn't the Foundation, was it? That was you. Personally. Peter doesn't answer directly, but his slight smile confirms Marcus's suspicion. Peter, standing. Think about the grant, Marcus. Call the number on that card when you're ready. Peter places a hand on Marcus's shoulder briefly, then turns to leave, calling after him. Peter. Peter turns back. Marcus, with quiet dignity. Thank you, not just for me, for my students. Peter, with a genuine smile. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Peter exits the cafe, leaving Marcus holding the Foundation card, hope visible on his face for the first time. At the XT, Chicago Street, continuous. Peter walks along the busy sidewalk, anonymous among the crowd. His phone rings. He answers. Peter, through phone. Hello? The board approved the emergency grant. Unanimously. Peter, smiling. Good. Diane, VO? Curious? This teacher, what made him different from all the other cases that cross your desk? Peter pauses, watching people rush past him, each with their own struggles, their own stories. Peter, thoughtfully. Sometimes, Diane, you just have to trust your instincts. There was something about him, something familiar. Diane, VO. Understanding. Peter, after a moment, he reminded you of yourself, of Mr. Hendricks. Peter continues walking, his expression peaceful. Around him, the city pulses with life, with possibility. Fade to black. Fade in, EXT Community Center. 6 months later, a modest building in a working-class Chicago neighborhood. A newly installed sign reads, Winter's Community Music Program, supported by the Cetera Foundation. Children and teenagers of various ages enter the building, carrying instrument cases. Parents drop off younger kids, waving goodbye with proud smiles. INT, Community Center, main room, continuous. The space has been transformed into a music classroom. Chairs arranged in a semicircle. Music stands positioned at each seat. Instruments of various types, violins, cellos, guitars, keyboards, line the walls, all new or newly refurbished. Marcus moves through the room, adjusting stands, arranging sheet music. He looks different now, confident, purposeful. His clothes new but still modest. The worry lines in his face have softened. Sofia Ramirez is 16, a serious girl with intelligent eyes, practices her cello in a corner. The instrument is new, beautiful, a proper tool for her considerable talent. Miguel Ortiz, in 17, tall and guarded, his tough exterior at odds with the gentleness with which he handles his guitar, tunes the instrument with focused precision. Other students filter in, greeting Marcus with respect and affection. This is clearly a place where they feel safe, valued. Marcus, addressing the group. All right, everyone, let's get started. Remember, the showcase is in 2 weeks. and we have special guests coming. The students take their positions, instruments at the ready. Marcus raises his hands to conduct, and music fills the room, tentative at first, then growing in confidence and harmony. Intern, Citra Foundation offices. Same time. A professional but not lavish office space. The foundation's logo, a stylized musical note, adorns the wall behind the reception desk. Peter sits with Diane and several board members in a conference room. Financial reports and grant applications cover the table. Board Member 1. The Winters program is exceeding all projections. Enrollment has doubled since inception. Board Member 2, impressed. And the retention rate is nearly perfect. Unheard of for a new program. Diane. To Peter. Your instincts were right about this one. Peter. Satisfied but not surprised. Marcus just needed the right opportunity. The students were always there, waiting. Board Member 3. We've had inquiries from 3 other neighborhood associations about establishing similar programs. Peter, leaning forward. Then let's make it happen. Diane, cautious. Expansion requires additional funding. The annual gala can only raise so much. Peter, with quiet determination. I'll cover the difference, whatever it takes. The board members exchange glances. They've seen this side of Peter before, changing subjects. Speaking of the showcase, you're confirmed to attend? Peter, surprised. Marcus invited me? Diane, consulting her tablet. The invitation came yesterday. For you specifically, not the foundation. Peter looks thoughtful, touched by the personal invitation. Peter, yes, I'll be there. EXT, Community Center, Showcase Night. 2 weeks later, the building is transformed with string lights and a banner announcing first annual community music showcase. People stream in. Families, community members, school officials. Peter arrives alone, purposely understated in his dress. He observes the scene with quiet satisfaction, lingering outside for a moment to watch the excitement on the faces of arriving families. And Community Center. Performance space continuous. The main room has been converted into a performance venue. Rows of chairs face a makeshift stage. A program sits on each seat. Winter's Community Music Program presents New Beginnings. The room fills quickly. Peter slips in discreetly, taking a seat in the back row. He wants to observe without drawing attention. Marcus appears from a side door, now dressed in a proper suit. He scans the audience, nodding to parents he recognizes. His eyes find Peter in the back row. They exchange a brief nod of acknowledgement. Marcus steps onto the stage, and the audience quiets. Marcus, addressing the audience. Thank you all for coming tonight. 6 months ago, this program was just a dream. Today, it's a reality because of these talented young musicians. He gestures to the side door, where his students wait nervously. Marcus. And because one person believed that music education matters, that these children matter. Marcus's eyes find Peter again. Marcus, music changes lives. It changed mine. And now, thanks to the Cetera Foundation, it's changing theirs. The audience applauds. Peter shifts uncomfortably at the recognition, preferring to remain anonymous. Marcus. Without further ado, I present to you the Winters Community Ensemble, performing New Beginnings, an original composition. The students file onto the stage, instruments in hand. Sophia with her cello, Miguel with his guitar, and a dozen others with various instruments. They take their positions, looking to Marcus for guidance. Marcus raises his hands. The music begins, tentative at first, then growing in confidence. It's beautiful, moving, an expression of hope and possibility. Peter watches, transfixed. The music touches something deep within him. He sees himself in these young musicians. The same passion, the same need for expression that drove him as a young man. The piece builds to a crescendo, all the instruments joining in perfect harmony. The audience is captivated, many with tears in their eyes at the beauty created by these children who just months ago had no access to music education. As the final notes fade, there's a moment of profound silence, that magical space after great music where no one wants to break the spell. Then the audience erupts in applause, rising to their feet. The students beam with pride, bowing as Marcus had taught them. Sophia's mother wipes tears from her eyes. Miguel's tough exterior cracks as he smiles genuinely. Peter joins the standing ovation, deeply moved. This is why he created the foundation. This moment, these children, this community center, INTI, reception area. Later, a modest reception follows the performance. Students proudly show their instruments to family members. Parents thank Marcus with heartfelt handshakes and hugs. Peter stands quietly in a corner, observing the joy around him. Marcus approaches, 2 cups of punch in hand. He offers one to Peter. Marcus, sincerely, "Thank you for coming." Peter, taking the cup, "I wouldn't have missed it. They were extraordinary." Marcus, with pride, "Some of them so practicing 5-6 hours a day, coming early, staying late." Peter, nodding, "That's how you know it matters to them. That's how you know it's changing them." They stand in companionable silence, watching the celebration around them. A modest reception follows the performance. Students proudly show their instruments to family members. Parents thank Marcus with heartfelt handshakes and hugs. Peter stands quietly in a corner, observing the joy around him. Marcus approaches, 2 cups of punch in hand. He offers one to Peter. Marcus, sincerely, "Thank you for coming." Peter, taking the cup, "I wouldn't have missed it. They were extraordinary." Marcus, with pride, "They worked so hard. Some of them practicing 5-6 hours a day, coming early, staying late." Peter, nodding, "That's how you know it matters to them. That's how you know it's changing them." They stand in companionable silence, watching the celebration around them. Marcus, after a moment, "I never properly thanked you for everything." Peter, dismissively, "The foundation." Marcus, interrupting gently, "Not just the foundation, the rent, the coffee that first day, the ride to Northwestern. You changed my life, Peter." Peter looks uncomfortable with the gratitude. "Peter, you did the hard part. This," he gestures to the room, the students, the community that has formed around the program. "Peter, this is what happens when someone believes in you." Marcus, shaking when someone gives you a chance. "No." Peter stares into his cup, unaccustomed to accepting praise. He wants to deflect again, but knows Marcus needs to express his gratitude. Peter, softly, "We all need someone to believe in us at some point." Marcus, "I was ready to give up that day. Did you know that?" Peter looks up, surprised. Marcus, "The interview at Northwestern was my last hope. My landlord had already filed for eviction. I'd been selling my own instruments, one by one, just to keep the lights on." Peter listens intently, understanding the depth of desperation Marcus had experienced. Marcus, "That morning, I couldn't even afford a cup of coffee. And I thought, this is it. This is how it ends. 30 years of music education, and I can't even buy myself a coffee." Peter reaches out, placing a hand briefly on Marcus's shoulder. Peter, "But it wasn't the end." Marcus, with emotion, "Because of you." One small gesture from a stranger. Before Peter can respond, Sophia approaches timidly, her cello case in hand. Sophia, to Marcus, "Mr. Winters, my mom says we have to leave soon." Marcus, warmly, "Sophia, I'd like you to meet someone. This is Peter Cetra. He's the one who made our program possible." Sophia's eyes widen with recognition. Sophia, impressed, "The Peter Cetra? From Chicago? My grandma loves your music." Peter laughs genuinely, charmed by her honesty. "You played beautifully tonight. That solo was exceptional." Sophia, proud but humble, "Thank you, sir. I couldn't have done it without Mr. Winters. Or without this." She pats her cello case lovingly. Peter, interested, "Do you plan to continue with music? After high school?" Sophia, with determination, "I'm going to apply to music schools. Mr. Winters is helping me prepare." Marcus, proudly, "Sophia has the talent for Juilliard. Or Curtis." Sophia blushes at the high praise. "Mr. Cetra, would you sign my program? For my grandma?" Peter smiles, touched by the request. Peter, "Of course." As Peter signs the program, Sophia watches with fascination. Sophia, curious. Mr. Cetra, when did you know you wanted to be a musician? Peter pauses, considering the question thoughtfully. Peter, I don't know if there was a single moment, but I remember the first time I heard my voice through a microphone, in a real studio. It was like discovering a part of myself I never knew existed. Sophia, nodding. That's how I felt the first time I played the cello, like I'd found my voice. Peter, impressed. That's exactly it. Some people search their whole lives and never find that feeling. Sophia, my mom wanted me to focus on subjects that would get me a real job. She thought music was just a hobby. Peter, understanding. My father felt the same way. He worked in a steel mill his whole life. He couldn't understand why I'd want to chase something as uncertain as music. Sophia, curious. What changed his mind? Peter, with a slight smile. The first time he heard one of my songs on the radio, I remember his face, this mixture of surprise and pride. That's when he understood it wasn't just a dream. It was who I was. Sophia, thoughtful. My mom started coming around when Mr. Winter's program started, when she saw how serious I was. Now she's my biggest supporter. Peter nods approvingly, glancing at Marcus with respect. Peter, a good teacher can make all the difference. They help others see the potential that was always there. As Peter signs the program, Miguel approaches, still holding his guitar. He hovers at the edge of the conversation, hesitant to interrupt. Marcus, noticing him. Miguel, come meet Mr. Cetera. Miguel steps forward, his usual tough demeanor softened by the success of the evening. Miguel, respectfully, Peter, extending his hand. Sir? Miguel, your guitar work was impressive, especially the improvised section. Miguel's eyes widen, surprised and pleased that Peter noticed the subtle improvisation. Miguel, with rare enthusiasm. You caught that? I wasn't sure if anyone would. Peter, with a knowing smile. I started as a guitar player too. I know what to listen for. Miguel's respect visibly grows. Miguel, gaining confidence. It wasn't planned. I just felt it in the moment, you know? Peter, those are always the best musical moments, when you're not thinking, just feeling. Miguel nods, grateful that someone of Peter's stature understands. Miguel, I used to think classical music was boring. All those rules, you know? But Mr. Winters showed me that even Bach improvised. Peter, impressed. He's right. The greatest composers were also the greatest improvisers of their time. Miguel, opening up. Before this program, I was just playing in my bedroom. No one to play with. I was thinking about quitting, selling my guitar. Peter's expression shows he understands the significance of this confession. Peter, and now? Miguel, with quiet conviction. Now I can't imagine my life without it. It's like, it's part of me. Peter, nodding. That's how you know it's not just a hobby, it's a calling. Miguel stands a little straighter, the validation from a musical hero clearly meaningful to him. Marcus, to both students. Miguel and Sophia have been helping the younger students. Natural teachers, both of them. Peter, to the students. Is that something you enjoy? Teaching. Miguel, thoughtfully. I never thought I would. But yeah, it feels good. Showing the little kids how to hold the guitar right. Seeing their faces when they get it. Sophia, nodding. It's like passing on a gift. Miguel, adding. His hands are still small for the guitar. There's this kid, but he tries so hard. 9 years old. Last week, he finally got this chord progression we'd been working on. You should have seen his face, man. Like he just discovered a superpower. Peter laughs, clearly moved by the description. Peter, that's exactly what it is. A superpower. The ability to create something out of nothing. To express what words can't say. Sophia, to Miguel. Remember how scared Danny was at first? He wouldn't even play in front of the group. Miguel, nodding. Now we can't get him to stop. They all laugh, recognizing the transformation. Peter, to Marcus. You've created something special here. It's not just about the music. Marcus, understanding. It's about belonging, about finding your place in the world. Peter exchanges a meaningful look with Marcus, both recognizing the cycle continuing, the torch being passed. Marcus, to the students. All right, your families are waiting. Great job tonight. both of you. The students thank Peter again and move away, joining their waiting families. As they go, Peter and Marcos watch Sophia reunite with her mother, an emotional embrace, pride evident on both their faces. Miguel is greeted by a younger brother who looks at him with clear admiration. Marcus, watching them go. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Not just teaching them music, but teaching them to share it. Peter, nodding. The best teachers show us who we can become. Marcus looks at Peter with new understanding. Marcus, is that what your teacher did for you, Mr. Hendricks? Peter, reflectively. He showed me a door I didn't know existed. Then he gave me the key to open it. A comfortable silence falls between them as they observe the community celebrating around them. Marcus, after a moment, you know, when the foundation first approved the grant, I was terrified. Peter, surprised. Terrified? Why? What if I couldn't create something worthy of the investment? What if I failed? What if the students didn't come, or the parents didn't trust me? Peter, but they did. Marcus, nodding. They did. And every day I think about that morning in Starbucks. How close I came to giving up. How one small act of kindness changed everything. An elderly woman approaches, her eyes bright with emotion. Elderly woman, to Marcus. Mr. Winters, I just wanted to thank you. My grandson Thomas, the boy on clarinet, he's a different child since joining your program. His grades have improved, he's making friends. He has purpose now. Marcus, genuinely touched. Thomas has real talent, Mrs. Chen, and such dedication. Elderly woman, turning to Peter. And you must be from the foundation. Bless you for supporting this program. It's changing lives. Before Peter can correct her, Marcus intervenes smoothly. Marcus, Mrs. Chen, this is Peter Cetera. He's the foundation's founder. Mrs. Chen's eyes widen with recognition. Mrs. Chen, flustered. Oh my, the musician? I danced to your songs at my wedding. Glory of Love was our first dance. Peter smiles warmly, accustomed to these moments but still touched by them. Peter, I'm honored to have been part of your special day, Mrs. Chen. Mrs. Chen, emotional. And now you're part of our community's story too. Full circle, she pats Peter's hand affectionately, then moves away to join her grandson. Marcus, smiling. That happens a lot, doesn't it? People connecting to your music in such personal ways. Peter, thoughtfully. It's humbling. You write these songs in a studio, never fully knowing where they'll go, who they'll reach, what moments in people's lives they'll become part of. Marcus, like ripples in a pond. Peter, nodding. Exactly like that. The reception continues around them. A community brought together by music, by opportunity, by one small act of kindness that grew into something much larger. Marcus, gesturing to the room. Everyone here has a story. Like Mrs. Chen and her grandson. Like Miguel and Sophia. Peter, understanding. Like you. Marcus, nodding. This program gave them a place to belong. A chance to discover their own voices. A young girl, about 7 years old, one of the youngest students in the program. Lily, shyly to Marcus. Mr. Winters, I wanted to say thank you for helping me with my violin. Marcus, kneeling to her level. You did all the hard work, Lily. I just showed you the way. Lily, with childlike directness. My dad says music is a waste of time. But it doesn't feel like a waste. It feels important. Peter and Marcus exchange a glance, both moved by the child's simple wisdom. Marcus, gently. It is important, Lily. It's one of the most important things in the world. Lily, brightening. That's what I think too. She hugs Marcus impulsively, then skips away to rejoin her mother, who watches from across the room with a mixture of pride and uncertainty. Peter, after she's gone. Another ripple, Marcus, nodding. One that might not have happened without this program. Without you. Peter shakes his head slightly, uncomfortable again with the credit. Peter, without us? A server approaches with a tray of hors d'oeuvres, offering them to Peter and Marcos. They each take one, thanking the server, who moves on to other guests. Marcus, changing the subject slightly. The foundation gala is next month, isn't it? Peter, nodding. Diane reminds me daily. It's become quite the event. Marcus, I received an invitation. I'd be honored to attend. Peter, your students should perform. Marcus, surprised. At the gala, with all those important donors. Peter, firmly, especially for them. They need to see what their money is supporting. Not just in theory, but in practice. Real students, real music, real change. Marcus considers this. Excitement growing. Marcus, Sophia, and Miguel could perform that duet they've been working on. And maybe the beginners ensemble could open the event? Peter, enthusiastically. Perfect. Nothing speaks more powerfully than seeing these kids play. Seeing their confidence, their joy. Marcus, with gratitude. Thank you. This will mean so much to them. To be recognized. Like that. Peter, sincerely, they've earned it. You've earned it. Another comfortable silence falls between them as they observe the celebration winding down. Families gathering their belongings. Students carefully packing up instruments. The community center staff beginning to clean up. Marcus, reflectively. A year ago, I couldn't have imagined this. Any of this. Peter, sometimes life's greatest gifts come in unexpected packages. Marcus, smiling. Like a cup of coffee from a stranger. The reception area is nearly empty now. Only a few stragglers remain, saying their final goodbyes. EXT Community Center, night. Later the event is ending. Families depart, students carefully carrying their instruments. The string lights glow softly against the night sky. Peter and Marcus stand outside the entrance. Marcus, the foundation board approved 3 more community programs in neighborhoods just like this one. Peter, pleased I heard, you'll be overseeing them? Marcus, nodding. As program director, full salary, benefits, more than I ever made at Lincoln Park High. Peter, satisfied, you've earned it. Marcus, reflective, all because you bought me a coffee. Peter, smiling, and heard a conversation. A comfortable silence falls between them. 2 musicians, 2 teachers, 2 men who understand the power of opportunity. Marcus, hesitant. Peter, there's something I've been wanting to ask you. Curious. What's that? Marcus, would you consider coming to speak to the students sometime? About your journey, about music. Peter considers this, clearly touched by the invitation. Peter, I'd be honored. Marcus's face brightens with genuine pleasure. Marcus, they would love that, hearing your story directly from you. Peter, thoughtfully, my story is still being written, just like theirs. Marcus, that's an important lesson in itself, that we never stop growing, learning, creating. A cool breeze stirs the air. Peter turns up his collar against the chill. Peter, when I was their age, I never imagined where music would take me. The places I'd see, the people I'd meet. Marcus, the lives you'd touch. Peter, modestly, music touched those lives. I was just the messenger. Marcus, disagreeing gently. It's more than that. The message matters, but so does the messenger. In the distance, a car honks. Miguel waves and look over to see Miguel's family waiting for him. His usual tough demeanor replaced by the excited face of a teenager who's just had one of the best nights of his life. Marcus, calling to Miguel, great job tonight. Practice that third movement for Tuesday. Miguel gives a thumbs up as his family's car pulls away. Peter, watching the car go. He reminds me of myself at that age. All that energy, that raw talent, just needing direction. Marcus. He told me he's thinking about music education as a career now. Before the program, he was just trying to survive high school. Peter, with satisfaction. Another ripple. They stand in companionable silence for a moment, watching the last few families depart. The night has grown quiet, peaceful. Marcus, extending his hand. Thank you for everything. Peter takes his hand, but instead of shaking it, he pulls Marcus into a brief hug. The kind shared between friends, between colleagues, between those who understand each other's hearts. Peter, stepping back. No, thank you for reminding me why music matters. The moment is simple but profound. A recognition of the journey they've shared, the impact they've had on each other's lives. Marcus, with quiet emotion. I should go help with the cleanup. Peter, nodding. And I should let you get to it. Marcus back to the community center to finish closing up. Peter to his car. Marcus calling after him. Peter! Peter turns back. Marcus, sincerely, I'll never forget that morning at Starbucks. Not for as long as I live. Peter with a gentle smile. Neither will I. As Peter walks away, he passes the center's new sign again. He pauses, looking at it with quiet pride. The sign reads, Winter's Community Music Program, supported by the Cetera Foundation, where every note matters. Peter reaches out, touching the sign gently, feeling the raised letters under his fingertips. A tangible reminder of the impact one moment, one decision, one act of kindness can have. Behind him, through the community center's windows, he can see Marcus gathering sheet music, talking animatedly with volunteers, his passion for his work evident in every gesture. A man transformed by opportunity, by belief, by music. Peter smiles to himself, then continues to his car. As he drives away, through his rearview mirror, we see the lights of the community center, a beacon of opportunity in the neighborhood, a light that will continue to shine long after this night. In the car, Peter turns on the radio. A familiar melody plays, one of his own songs from years ago. He listens for a moment, then begins to hum along, the music connecting past and present, weaving together the threads of a life dedicated to the power of music, to the difference one voice can make. The car disappears into the night, but the impact of this evening, of this program, of that chance encounter in a Starbucks one rainy morning remains, rippling outward in ways that neither Peter nor Marcus could fully imagine, touching lives, opening doors, creating possibilities that will continue for generations to come. The same Starbucks where it all began. Peter sits at the same corner table, sipping coffee, watching the world pass by through the windows. The door opens, and Marcos enters. He's transformed, confident, well-dressed, carrying a professional briefcase instead of a worn portfolio. He spots Peter and approaches with a warm smile. Marcus, sitting down. Sorry I'm late. Board meeting ran long. Peter, curious, good news? Marcus, excited but controlled. The best. The Foundation's grant program is being expanded nationally. 10 cities in the first phase. Peter, pleased. Diane mentioned the possibility. I didn't know it was official. Marcus, nodding, and they want me to oversee the implementation. Peter, genuinely happy for him. Marcus, that's fantastic. You've earned it. Marcus, humble. It's all because of you. Peter, shaking his head. No, you did this. The Foundation just provided the opportunity. Marcus reaches into his briefcase, pulling out a small package wrapped in simple blue paper. Marcus, I wanted to give you something. To mark the anniversary. Peter looks surprised, taking the package hesitantly. Peter. Marcus, insisting gently. You didn't need to. Please, open it. Peter unwraps the package carefully. Inside is a small, framed photograph. It shows Marcus standing with his students from the first showcase. Sophia with her cello, Miguel with his guitar, all the others with their instruments. Their faces radiate joy, accomplishment, possibility. At the bottom of the photograph is an engraved plate that reads, Every journey begins with a single act of kindness. Thank you for the coffee. Peter stares at the photograph, deeply moved. Peter, softly, this is thank you. Marcus, sincerely, did you know that Sophia got accepted to Curtis? Full scholarship. Peter, delighted. That's wonderful. Marcus and Miguel is teaching guitar full-time at one of the new community centers. The kids adore him. Peter places the framed photo carefully on the table, looking at it with pride. Peter, thoughtfully, my teacher, Mr. Hendricks. I think he would have liked Marcus, with understanding, what we've built. I think he'd be proud of what his kindness created. Peter looks up, meeting Marcus's gaze. Peter, that's the thing about kindness, isn't it? You never know how far it will reach, how many lives it will touch. Marcus, nodding. One coffee? One conversation? Peter, smiling. One chance encounter. Around them, the cafe bustles with activity. People coming and going, living their lives, each with their own stories, their own struggles, their own potential for greatness. Just like Marcus a year ago. Just like Peter himself decades earlier. Peter picks up the photograph again, studying the faces of the students, the next generation of musicians, of teachers, of those who will pass on the gift. Peter, with quiet conviction, this is just the beginning. Marcus, with equal conviction, yes, it is. They sit in companionable silence, two friends bound by music, by teaching, by the understanding that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can change everything. Outside, the sun breaks through the clouds, casting golden light through the windows of the cafe. The same cafe where, 1 year earlier, a simple cup of coffee began a journey that would transform countless lives. Fade to black, and titles. As the credits roll, we hear Peter Cetera's iconic voice singing Glory of Love, a fitting anthem for a story about the power of kindness, opportunity, and the transformative nature of music. A final card appears. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, has the power to change a life.